TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop. Come on, take me higher. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good. Let's change this right now. Let's see if we can do better there. Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is the closing bell for Monday, October 14, 2024. Glad everyone is here. Come on in. Shout out to Mr. Berry himself. Welcome. The other co-host, back from Vegas, a week in Vegas, Sin City. Holy cow, I am jealous. Been a little while since I've been there. I used to go 5-6 times a year, and I've been on a little hiatus, so we'll be back there soon. Shout out to our proud sponsor and partnerships, of course. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play. Download the app. It is free. Travis, Zach, myself, Amber, Jay Berry, the list is endless. Matt, Alan, come join us. Trust me. Rest of 2024 and beyond will be off the charts. Viva Tequila Seltzer, CT Bets, team, family, second to none. East Coast is cuckoo for coconut. Head on over to where you indulge in adult beverages. If they don't have Viva, ask why. And last but not least, of course, the one and only Mr. Terry Smith at Atlanta Steak and Seafood. I got a nice New York strip seasoned out. After the show, we're grilling. Gonna have some nice hot sausages, maybe a little sea bass with it as well. So go follow Terry at Atlanta Steak and Seafood. Facebook, you can introduce yourself. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. At the checkout for this week and next week, Terry was on. Promo code Seafood20, get $20 off any box of tunas, swordfish, lobster tails, sea bass, whatever you like. So Terry's the best in the biz. He's going to be with us for a long, long time. So without further ado, back from Sin City himself, Mr. Riley Magnuson. How come I can't pull you up here? Let's try this. What's up, Chip?
What is up, my friend? Happy restart Monday, re-entry Monday, recap Monday, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, I am back in business, my friend. Had a great time. Wish I would have brought split the difference, brought some of the 95-degree heat back to the Midwest because it's down to about 50 degrees here this week, or at least these first couple of days. So I wish I would have split the difference a little bit, but had a great time, my friend. Excited to get out there and have some fun, watch some sports, play. Had some fun elsewhere. So a good time was had despite the heat. We beat it. So back in business and ready to rock.
What would you do if I took you out there in July during my World Series of Poker 10-day jaunt? Usually cracks around 115 to 118. And I'm right behind Top Golf. I have some timeshare
Oh,
there. And it's about a half hour. I go straight up and then bang a right. And it's a nice half hour sweat fest. And then you get into the casinos, of course, and I'm there for 5, 6, 8 hours, however long I hang out watching friends and colleagues in the main event. And then I walk back. You got to walk outside. You
Oh,
got to
yeah.
people watch, Riley.
No, we did. We did a little bit of that, and I said it's better than the humidity that we have out here when it's 95 degrees. It was at least you could bear it at least a little bit and weren't miserable. But like you said, you pop in to some air conditioning. We caught the stadium swim pool and had a nice time there. And then we were even though it's 92 degrees out there at night, you get out of the pool and you feel like you're freezing. So we were not complaining too much for the heat there last week.
What'd you think of Stadium Swim?
I loved it. It was like I said, we were maybe a little biased because it was exactly what we needed with the heat, but I thought it was great. It was a great hangout and a good spot to watch it. I mean, we had day 1 and 2, I think, of NHL, and then some couple of the baseball games. So would be cool to go out there for a big college basketball slate or football slate or something like that. But it was a blast.
I usually we used to do a 3-week run out there for March Madness and the first pitch of baseball there. And I'm thinking, I need to either extend that trip, but it's tough to hang out. 3 weeks is fine. I got it down to a science. But my point is, wouldn't mind hanging out there for the Masters, just hanging out and watching the Masters on that big thing. That must be something.
Yeah. Well, that and the bride's a big Olympics fan and wants to go back for like the Olympics or something like that. And then obviously you'd get a little something else mixed in for that. But LA in 2028, maybe that's our next time we go out there or something like that for the Olympics.
You missed a lot. You were missed, of course. Anyone that did not catch the morning show with Bill Krakenberg or Terry Smith, Scotty Webb checked in. He is okay, and he sent me a text later. He just got his power back, so I don't know when he'll be back and ready to come on and stuff. But everyone, all your thoughts and prayers. He says a big thank you. He does now have power. They were expecting Thursday, so he got a few days ahead of schedule, so that's great there. Yes, re-entry Monday, and bottom of the third, Met 6-0. It's kind of funny. They did the right thing. They walked Lindor to get the Ventos, and again, I think it was Smoltz said it best. So 2-2 count. You really want to get them before it's 3-2. Went to 3-2, couple fouled off pitches in the grand slam. 6-0. I said in the alert that we sent out, we passed on this game. I did lean Mets. I wish their team total was 3.5, juiced under, not over 25 cents. I didn't want to pay the tax there. The Dodgers had 33 straight innings of shutout baseball, 24 with the Padres, 9 yesterday. And now a bullpen game. And it's real tough to duplicate what the bullpen game did last time. But thoughts with the Final Four, thoughts what you saw with the Dodgers, and now, of course, the Mets up 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are picking up steam at the right time. I mean, you watch not yesterday, but the day before, you know what I mean, Game 5 against the Padres. It made a stop in your neck of the woods and a long stint in my neck of the woods. Kopech looked real solid in relief, and you kind of called that as far as going to the Dodgers and not going into the starting role, but going into a really nice reliever role. And he's obviously a guy that can eat up some innings. So, I don't know if they save him or what, or if they want him eating up some innings today or not. But, you felt like the Mets, something had to give in both ways. For the Mets not having some ridiculous comeback, which obviously ended yesterday, and now the Dodgers, something had to give as far as their pitching staff slowing down as much as they had been there. So, kind of get a nice reset going into, assuming this stands, obviously nothing else crazy happens in this one. You kind of get a nice reset for this one and, start from square one for best of 5 going into this series here after today, as long as nothing else changes there. So, momentum-wise, the Dodgers, I guess momentum, I don't know, but who's playing the best right now? It's the Dodgers, and that Mets, unless they can recapture some, a crazy comeback, that I think that's the only way that they could win this series and get some momentum on their side, is have more of those, cardiac type wins there. Otherwise, I think the Dodgers win this one, and I don't think it goes to 7 there. So the other one, though, Yankees and Cleveland getting things started tonight. I'm excited for. I'm interested. I think it's going to be. Maybe it's easy to say this, but a pitching staff, whoever the better pitching staff is, the starting pitching staff out of these two teams, Cleveland and the Yankees here. And again, maybe that's easy to say, but I don't think I'm going to sit here and say I know which one right now is going to be better. I guess is what I'm trying to say, where that's the X factor of either of these pitching staffs could step up and be the reason they win this series here. So going to need some clutch hitting. I think there's going to be a hero out of this Yankees and Cleveland series, and it's either going to be, I think it'll be the usual suspects, either Judge or Jose Ramirez here. I don't know if you're going to get a B-list or C-list star in the making out of these series. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. So I'm excited to see where we go here, and I think if the Yankees lose, it's because this pitching staff didn't show up and pitch the way the Dodgers had been up until today, obviously.
From a numbers and from just the eye test history, the 2-3-2 format sets up obviously real well for both the Yankees and the Dodgers. At home, you hope to go 2-0. You go to the road park. You steal one. It's hard to beat a team 3 straight times. You steal one of the 3. You come back up 3-2, and you win a tight game in 6. Now the Mets have their pitching aligned pretty damn good here with Manaea, with Severino, and I guess Peterson's going to try to be ready, maybe even they said for game 4. And the Dodgers, again, it's just been all hands on deck. So they go yesterday, great 7 innings from Flaherty, bullpen game, okay. And then I think Buehler, then Yamamoto, and then they'll figure it out from there. As for the Yankees, you're right. Cole looked like he was rounded into form. They beat the Royals, who can't score. We get that. And what have we said all year about the Guardians? Death by 10,000 paper cuts. They just keep moving the chains. Walk, base hit. Next thing you know, 3-run homer by J-Ram. And it's just when you least expect it here. We put together the ECSI VIPs. We did a chalk parlay, obviously. Yankees and Dodgers, got them to plus 135 in the series. We did pre-flop, have Yankees, Dodgers beat Yankees beat Dodgers at around plus 1,300 and 1,350 on both of those. So we're close there. So we'll see what happens. Long way to go. It's baseball. Anything can happen there. NFL, your Packers, let me see. It was kind of comical. All the wide receivers come back. They all hold hands. They sing Kumbaya. Next thing you know, Wicks week to week. It's amazing when they all play. Romeo, who was banned from the team for a week, scores not 1 but 2. And then, of course, Jaden Reed. Oh, and Christian Watson. And the new shiny toy, Tucker Kraft, 2 weeks ago was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Didn't need him. But the real thing, Riley, before you talk about the Packers, is that division. I mean, you got the undefeated Vikings. You got the Lions that if they wanted to score 70 yesterday, they could have. Unfortunately, Aiden Hutchinson, they lose. Prayers will be lost for the season there. They're 1 game behind. They play each other. Then the Packers, and it kind of looks like Caleb got his sea legs.
100%, and that's the one team in the division that I'm still interested in. And I'm not taking anything away from them because they've beaten the brakes off the Jaguars and the Panthers, and he's looked really good. He looked solid enough. It wasn't lighting the world on fire, but looked really good, solid against the Rams, obviously as well. So I'm with you. He looked, aside from the one throw that he had, looked really, really solid. But all the teams that
To
they've
my
beaten
guy,
have,
DJ Moore for a touchdown. Why didn't
and
need
it was
the
almost like
10.6?
oh shit, he's excuse my language, oh shit, he's so wide open, and then he put so much loft on it that because I watched it and I was like, oh my god, how open can he get? And then obviously the safety comes out of nowhere. So, but the schedule of opponents that they've beaten is obviously pretty low. But again, I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but they've eaten the brakes off of these teams. They look really, really good. So excited to see. I don't know if I'm excited to see. I'm interested to see what they do going forward here, because now they've got. I think they're on a bye this upcoming week, and then they come out of that against Washington, which is going to be maybe the rookie of the year decider already in week 7 or whatever that'll be there, week 8. So that'll be a fun one. And again, Washington's defense obviously not fantastic, so still won't be a great measuring stick, but. The division is so damn tough. I was already as a Packer fan already at a point where I'm looking at the rest of the NFC, and it's like, all right, well, obviously the Packers got some games against the division opponents. If they do well in that, then they'll be fine. Because I think all 4 of these teams are really good teams. There's probably going to be one team that maybe goes 1-5, 2-4 against the division, and that's what keeps them out of the playoffs. One of these 4 teams here. So for a division that has all 4 teams that are playoff contenders, you're already starting to look at the rest of the NFC and rooting for these AFC teams to beat the NFC, these the bad NFC teams to beat the rest of the NFC teams that are solid there, because you've got the NFC West is still kind of a wild card. San Francisco and Seattle are 3-3, but you got Atlanta and Tampa playing well enough at 4-2, and Washington and Philly only 2 losses there. So between the second place teams in those divisions, and potentially maybe one more team in the NFC West, you got some work to do, and you don't want to be that. You definitely don't want to be the 4th team, hoping that all 4 teams get in the playoffs in the NFC North. You still don't even want to be that 3rd team, hoping that 3 teams get in there. So as long as top 2 has to make it. In the NFC North there. But to your point, I already talked about the Bears. Lions offense looks fantastic. I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. The Vikings defense is really, really good. Just hoping that Sam Darnold's, some of the ugly throws he's made the last couple of weeks start to actually find their way into the defender's hands. That's what the rest of the division's hoping for there. So, and then as far as the Packers go, offense, yeah, like you said, everyone kind of back. Obviously, Wicks goes down early, but everyone back healthy. You get the full cabinet of resources in it, and it looks really, really solid there. I think they can survive, a few missing pieces and still be fine. And now the other thing, Jordan Love looked a lot better yesterday. His one interception was a I want to say your guy Bo Melton, who actually got a little end around carry there. Thought he might find the end zone there, but slipped, and it goes to the defender behind him. So Jordan Love was fantastic yesterday, and looked like he got to use the same term you use, injury in this case as opposed to a rookie, but got his sea legs under him and looked really, really good yesterday. So I'm excited for that. Defense doing well enough, a couple of random mistakes, but if the defense can keep ramping up and find a way to clear up some of these weak spots that they have there, then things will be in really great shape. So they've got I'm already drawing a blank on. I think they got Houston coming to Lambeau this upcoming week, so that'll be a fun one, and that'll be a good game to watch. And then they go to Jacksonville after that before some tough games in the division and elsewhere. So. A game against an NFC team, not as much weight as the other teams, but obviously a good measuring stick to see what both those 2 teams, Houston and Green Bay, have this upcoming week.
And first and foremost, very disappointed with the NFL, and I don't know if it's too early. I don't know if they can actually do it. The 8:30 game or 8:20 game on Sunday is the Jets at Pittsburgh. I've seen enough of both already. I know you wanted to highlight Aaron Rodgers here, but at 4:25, you got Kansas City coming off a bye, traveling to San Fran. I mean, if that's not the standalone late game, shame on you there. What I see, Peterson and the Jags, it's very simple. You lose to the Patriots, on Sunday, you might as well get your own ticket back because you will be either fired in the air or before you land or on Monday. So must
I,
win for there.
I think they might have been looking up plane tickets from London to Jacksonville and just got scared off by how much it was going to cost them to fire him 1 week earlier. That's my thought on it.
Drake May made some great throws. Hats off. It's amazing when you get a quarterback that can maneuver just a little and enough. And he actually, the kid from LSU, Booty, who they've been trying to kick off the team for 2 years, gets paid dirt. Pop Douglas, again, starts to look good. So I think Kendrick Bourne will be back maybe this week as well there. I was talking to a friend, a colleague, and again, I admit when I'm wrong, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'd sell all my stock and shares in the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts. I don't know what the hell it is. I thought they'd get that uptick, that sense of urgency, like, all right, guys, we shit the bit last year. Let's show them what we got. Coming off a bye against the pedestrian Browns, who were cornerback. A cornerback has just as many touchdowns, too, as the leading either rusher or receiver. They get a potential boost from Chubb, maybe starting this week. I can't see. That was one of the most horrific injuries I've ever seen, and they expect him back and being a full force running back. Good luck there. But thoughts on Eagles? Thoughts on what else you saw in the NFL?
Yeah, it was bizarre because, I mean, A.J. Brown even looked really, really good in his return, too. Devontae Smith, I think only 3 catches, but still had some big moments and still kind of lackluster there. And, I've got Saquon in a couple spots, too. And, I didn't watch this game as closely as I've watched them in the past. This one was at the same time as the Packers and had my eyes on a bunch of games. But, I mean, this Browns team, obviously, Deshaun – he did play a little bit better, but that's still not a good measuring stick. I mean, he's been absolutely atrocious the first 5 weeks of the season. Still was bad yesterday, just not quite as bad. If a blocked field goal and that's all it takes for this Browns team to kind of be hanging around there and have a chance at the end of this game. So it was really eye-opening here because this Browns team, I mean, the defense played a little bit better, but they just don't seem as energized here. And you got the Eagles going to the Giants. I think that's this upcoming week. Would not surprise me the way the Giants are playing. I mean, offensively, obviously didn't have it last night, but that Giants defense is playing well. If the Giants defense can duplicate what the Browns just did, would not shock me at all if the Giants upset them this upcoming week here. And it's in New York, so I'm with you. I am not very afraid of the Eagles right now. Their best game was Week 1 against the Packers in Brazil, and they have not looked as good since.
Got to talk Jerry's World. Matt Grissom took his son to the game yesterday. I'm going to go back to your Packers in the playoff game. The emergence of Jordan Love, his really coming to Jesus moment. You guys put up a 40-plus burger there. Then at home, that was, meaning in Dallas. And then this year, the Saints come in after Dallas wins in Cleveland, which means nothing now. The Saints put up 47, and then the Ravens come in and bully them around. Then, of course, the Dallas goes to Pittsburgh and wins. So in comes the Lions coming off a bye, and it was a Vegas carrot, guys. If you don't know what a carrot is, this is Dallas. I mean, Lions were 3.5-point favorites. They were telling you, they were going to revenge that 2-point conversion, yada yada yada. They were playing end around, 3 people touched the ball, flea flickers. Hey, Sewell, you get a touchdown. They could have scored 70. Now you got a team in total disarray. They're calling for McCarthy. Jerry's like, no, he's fine. Is it going to be a race for Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel here? What do you do if you're Dallas right now?
I think you have to make some type of switch at least to try and get some energy into this place because I mean from what I've heard already, Jerry Jones isn't considering that at all. But I think you have to be. I mean, obviously defensively it was ugly yesterday and you got some issues there. But we've seen this now. Like you mentioned, obviously they kind of scratched and clawed a little bit in that Ravens game, but the Ravens took their foot off the gas. They could have, if they were fully locked in, they could have scored more than they did in that game. But that's all 4 of those games you mentioned. Yes, the defense was really bad in those games, but the offense, part of it was because the offense goes out there and is out of sync and 3 and outs and CD and Dak not on the same page, or they are on the same page and Dak is just missing him, this and that. So I think you have to do something to change up the lack of a better term, the energy and the vibes of this place right now, because it's so poor, especially for a place who, up until that Packers game last year, the Cowboys were absolutely dynamite in that building too, is the bizarre thing. And they've been laying absolute eggs for all of those games that you mentioned. And you know, they've got, I think, what are they going on the bye now this upcoming week? And then they go to San Francisco for Sunday Night Football the following week. So good luck in that situation for a Niners team who, you know, maybe will be a little bit healthier at that point too. Obviously isn't the full strength of what we've seen from them, but still, obviously, if the Niners play a B-plus game and the Cowboys look anything like they've looked, are going to run them out of the gym in that one too. So it doesn't get much easier than that either. They go at 49ers, at the Falcons, home for the Eagles, home for the Texans, at the Commanders. So they've got a tough schedule the rest of the way here. To sit here and say that they could be a 7-10 football team easily when it's all said and done is not a crazy statement to make at all.
And you're gonna end up, they can't run the ball. Their defense is injured. Mike is injured. As you said, their offensive line isn't what it used to be. You're not going to win by having Dak throw 50, 55, 60 times a game. And when Jerry was asked 2 weeks ago, we're having trouble streaming Twitter right now. Okay, what's new? Hold on 1 second. My point is, when Jerry was asked why didn't you sign Henry? He's like, we couldn't afford him. And you look at what Henry is doing to Baltimore right now, and the fact of the matter is if Dallas had Henry, that would slow the rush down. That would make them have to back off a little, because you can't put 8 in the box against O. Henry here. And that would open up the lanes, obviously, for CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, and, of course, Ferguson.
Right, and as someone who's I've got CeeDee Lamb in my big dynasty that I do my most cherished league that I've got. It's he obviously he's still going to him. He's getting some numbers, but those big numbers just aren't coming there. Even when you're passing because you're down. So I'm a little concerned. I'm very concerned, and you know, I think it'll get bad enough. If it continues to get bad, I think they will make a change here mid-season here, but. You know, maybe it's if they're 3-5, whatever it is, and they make the change, maybe they can scratch and claw their way back in. But like we already talked about, the 4 teams in the NFC North, you've got Washington in your own division. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, looking really good. You've got Philly, who obviously has their own problems, but not as big a problems as what's going on in Dallas, at least not yet. And the Giants are scrappy. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying the Giants are a playoff team by any stretch, but they're scrappy. I mean, I think. Long term, they've got to change something up. But as far as their roster is concerned, I think the Giants are going in the right direction. They just don't have the guy at quarterback. Daniel Jones can do a few things, but some of the reads he was missing last night, I think, kind of tell enough of a story if you're trying to figure out what the ceiling of Daniel Jones is. He's just not the guy there. But, again, he's doing enough, and they're going to be in a lot of these games, the Giants here, and it would not surprise me if the Giants beat the Cowboys next time around.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors, one of the, of course, I got him in one of my better teams. And again, can go to a concert on Thursday night, but again, can't pass concussion protocol, out again. Hopefully he'll be back next week there. Transition to college football, one of the biggest, obviously, weeks of the year so far. Some of the heavy hitter games, first and foremost, Texas is the #1 team right now in the country. Both sides of the ball. A beat up Oklahoma team. They scored. I think they scored a field goal, had a 3-0 lead, and then that was it. I think 28 unanswered by Texas or something like that there. But some of the later games, of course, Penn State, hats off, rallied from 20-6 at halftime, come all the way back. Colin Cowherd, talk about egg in your face. At halftime, you had those blue blocker glasses on at some damn whatever bar in LA, touting about how we're going to owe everyone the apology, Lincoln Riley in big time games, blah, 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 blah. And Penn State and Mr. Franklin said, hold my beer, come all the way back and beat them in OT. And then Oregon, Ohio State lived up to the billing. My take on that is this. It almost reminds me of this, Riley. When we watched Washington and Oregon last year at Washington, My take was Washington won. Oregon's going to get them the second time around. And then Oregon was 9-point favorites at Allegiant Stadium for the Pac-12 championship. And Washington and Penix Jr. got them again. I'm like, oh, shit. But my take is Oregon won that game. I gave out on the alert. If you like Oregon, jump on Dylan Gabriel for 15-1 for the Heisman. I don't know what his current odds are, but they've had to move up. But my point is, I think Ohio State's still the better team than Oregon.
I'm with you. I thought that beforehand, and I have been very high on both these two teams all season long. So I'm not trying to take anything from Oregon, and I don't think you are either. But I'm with you. I think that's a great parallel because and to use that same parallel, I don't think Ohio State's going to be as big of an underdog like Washington was if they do end up rematching there. So I'm with you. I think Ohio State. Let me pull up their schedule again here. I think they've got Penn State here in a few weeks. At Penn State, I don't think Penn State has enough, even in a frenzied crowd. I don't think Penn State has enough to take down Ohio State. So, and Michigan doesn't have enough this year. So chances are it's going to be those two teams meeting again. And Ohio State's going to have another shot at it because these other undefeated teams, like I said, Penn State's got to go through Ohio State. Indiana could have a really nice run, but they've got to go through Ohio State again. So it's probably going to be Ohio State and Oregon, and I'm with you. That wouldn't surprise me if they meet for a third time in the college football playoff. For God's sake, I would if they're anything like that other game, I would watch that game every week for the rest of my life. That's how good that game was. And Oregon, they've got some tough places to play, but for the most part, unless they sleepwalk through a couple of these stops that they have to go, they got to go to Michigan and to Wisconsin. They've got Washington coming to Oregon. So as long as they don't sleepwalk in any of those spots, they should be fine.
Here's the funny, and I go on certain shows and I'm asked, what do we have at ECSI? How do I join the ECSI VIPs? And I think everyone is. Listen, how can I explain this the most nicely? Okay, I'm not a tout. Okay, I'm not Stu Feiner. I don't push what we do. I'm your personal sports broker. That's what I do. I send out alerts when we get information that crosses our desk. We follow 50 sports books across the land. We get every alert. We get everything. And I know a lot of people are just conditioned to, hey, I can go to this show. I can get as many free plays as I can get, and I don't need to sign up. I get that. That's fine. But here's what I'm talking about, Riley. When Alabama played Georgia.
Oh, I know where you're going.
On the ECSI VIP alert, I says, if you like Alabama, make sure you get Jalen Milroe at plus 750 to win the Heisman. Well, at halftime, he was the favorite at plus 250. Now, Alabama's lost since then, and he lost that favorite spot. But my point is, on the ECSI VIPs, again on Saturday, I says Dylan Gabriel plus 1,500 to win the Heisman. Okay? They beat Ohio State. So here we go. Ashton Genty, running back from Boise. It's been forever since a running back won. He's the current favorite at plus 200. The second favorite, Dylan Gabriel, plus 375.
Pretty damn impressive, my friend. And you got some help. I obviously, for the sake of fun in college football, it was not good. But Travis Hunter not playing in the majority of that game the other day helped a lot, obviously, for that as well. Which, again, that's not fun. We don't want that to happen. Travis Hunter is awesome, but that hurts his chances. And Ashton Genty, he's got a game against UNLV, I think, in a week and a half or so. The top two teams in that conference, I think it's at UNLV. They lose that game, I don't know. You could be in Dylan Gabriel, the sweepstakes there, but also some other guys may have a similar chance going forward as well.
So anyways, again, I'll just say this, guys. Anyone watching right now, because, again, it's Thanksgiving in Canada, okay? It's $3 a day. It's $99 a month. On our website, it's $375 a month retail, the same number that it's been since January 1st, 2015, and now soon to be 2025, 10 years. There, if you can afford $3 a day, go to the website. Go to plans and price and scroll down right there, and presto bango, you get charged $99 once a month, whatever credit card, PayPal, then whatever you want to use. If you want the deal of a lifetime here, 199 gets you through for the rest of 2024. I'll even throw in the next 6 weeks to the Super Bowl. So I got room for 5. The first 5 that want it, 199. You got to send me a DM at EC Sports Invest, and we'll give you the link to sign up for that, or send us an email to eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Again, 199 for the rest of 2024. I'll throw in through the Super Bowl. Why? Because I love you guys. Riley, there's a football game tonight in Buffalo. It opened at 2.5 Buffalo, but then as soon as the firing, it dropped. Now it's 1.5, one across the land, other than at Bookmaker, with a 44 now, open to 44, now 41. Tells us 21-20 Buffalo. First one to 21 wins. Thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, I'm interested. Obviously, the firing is the story here as far as this is concerned. You've got two teams with Bills. Obviously, we were kind of crowning them as the division champs. Certainly, we're crowning them the division champs a couple weeks ago, and one of the 3 contenders in the AFC. Not that they aren't possibly going to get back to that point, but obviously have come back down to earth. Not sure what to expect out of the Jets here tonight with the firing. I know you've got a lot of cases where firing happens and the team gets energized. That absolutely could happen, but I'm more interested to see what happens with the play calling, if that really sees any type of change, taking the reins out of Nathaniel Hackett's hands there. The interesting thing, though, you get as far as I off the top of my head, I don't know what the spread numbers were, but I know yesterday I think the Colts were the only underdog that won outright, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday, maybe I'm drawing a blank on a team or two there, but I think it was only the Colts that were the and depending on where the Bears closed, they may have been the other team there. But my point is, you've got I saw one thing today is would be historic for sports books who have the Bills as that last parlay leg. Would be historic losses if the Bills would go on to win there. So the public and the parlay players are all over the Bills tonight. Is the one thing that I do know tonight, my friend.
Well, it's funny because when a coach gets fired in any sport, it's an autoplay the next game. It just is. It's an autoplay. And then you look to the left in the Bills, this is their 3rd straight road game, which is another auto fade right there. This is for first place. This is technically, in my eyes, the season on the Jets. This is Rodgers. I think Rodgers will look more like he did in the Patriots game than he did out in London against Minnesota. Now, how effectively will they move the ball? James Cook, how's that turf toe doing? It's going to be a great game. It's kind of one of these David and Goliath, and I'm in a local pick'em pool, no spreads, and I had one loss this week. I did have Jacksonville, and that was my only loss there. I'm the only one with the Jets, so if the Jets win, there'll be a 3 or 4 way tie, and I think it will go to total points, so I need 45 or more points scored. So I'm hoping Jets 30-20. I don't care what it is there. So I think there's going to be some points tonight. I do,
and I have some confidence in the Jets. I still believe in this defense that they can look. They haven't looked bad, but I have some faith that this defense could look really, really good at some points this season here. So I'm with you. I do a confidence pool as well. Yesterday I had them written down next to some of my fun action that I had, and I was like, man, I'm doing pretty damn well. And then I pop it up and I did have the Jaguars, and I look, and 10 people also got all of those games right, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess those were all the favorites there. So I was with you. I had Jacksonville. I had a little swing on one other team, I think, but for the most part, rolling along there. But no, I think this Jets defense can get the Bills offense a little out of sorts again here, and they sometimes they're just playing with one arm behind their back. They obviously looked fine the first 3 weeks without, you lose Diggs. You don't have a ton of talent on some of these skill positions. They're not bad as far as talent is concerned, but they don't have that one stud. And these last 2 weeks, it's kind of just looked like they're playing with one arm behind their back. So if the Jets can make them do that, make them look like that again, and the Jets offense doesn't make any mistakes, then I think they'll be fine. Because the Jets could have won that game last year, but their offense and Rodgers had some ugly throws that kind of cost them the game there. If Rodgers sticks to what his MO usually is, and worst case, maybe he's not playing great, but at least protecting the ball, they might win that game. So I could absolutely see that happening here again tonight. I think at the very least he will protect the ball, and maybe he has one turnover max, but I would be surprised if he has another 2 straight weeks with multiple turnovers here for Rodgers.
Yeah, and I got to go. I know they have a great rookie back with Braylon Allen, but I think they go as far as Breece Hall goes. So I'll go Breece Hall, first touchdown, Breece Hall, anytime touchdown to start on the Jets side.
Minus 110 anytime, 500, plus 500, first touchdown.
Okay, no Shakir on the Buffalo side. I don't have a lot of confidence in Keon Coleman. Assume Curtis Samuel's playing, but I'm just going to go chalk central here. First time touchdown, anytime touchdown on Dalton Kincaid.
270 anytime, 14-1 first time.
Okay, and I will throw in a cherry on top that Josh Allen, anytime touchdown.
Oh, I like that. Where'd he go? Plus 140. Plus 140 anytime, 750 for what it's worth first time. I will go, I'm going to go, they've been sprinkling them in here and there. Tyler Conklin for the Jets, 425, 20-1 on the first time out of the tight end spot there. And for the Bills, you took Kincaid for the Bills? That's what you took, right?
Yes.
Oh man, I'll go Dawson Knox. I'll go the other tight end. If we get one of the tight ends in the end zone, the 7-1 and 30-1 on the first time.
Baseball. Actually, let me go to hockey quick, and then we'll wrap it up with baseball. There was 3 games in the NHL. In a shootout, I mean literally a shootout. Ottawa beats the Kings 8-7. Bruins, who suck historically on matinees, lose again to Florida 4-3. Florida owns the Bruins right now, and New Jersey shuts out Utah 3-0. Team totals to take a look at here that hit the system. There's only one: Pittsburgh Penguins over 3.5 at Andrew McGinnis's Montreal Canadiens. You can get that at plus 115. So Penguins to 4 or better there. In the MLB tonight, Cleveland and Yankees, Cobb versus Rodon. Opened up minus 160, still at 160. You can get the Guardians plus 146. It opened at 7.5 over minus 20, now 7.5 under minus 20. Team totals: Cleveland 3.5 juiced under minus 140. Yankees 3.5 over minus 150 there.
I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how long they let Alex Cobb go. I mean, obviously, if he's getting into trouble, then they'll pull the chain on him. But he's only had 4 outings with Cleveland here, and it's mixed in with a couple of IL stints. So gets him going last week against the Tigers for 3 innings. But I'm curious to see how far they let him go here. Obviously, if he's pitching well, then they'll let him go for a few here. But Rodon, who I'm obviously very familiar with. Last time out against the Royals, nothing special. So he's just been a little hit or miss. So this Cleveland team, there's been a couple guys that have seen him plenty of times. So wouldn't surprise me if you get a Jose Ramirez bomb off of Rodon today here in the first few innings of this game. I don't know what to expect here. Wouldn't surprise me if we get a nice healthy score out of this game though.
Yeah, and again, it's a 7.5. The Guardians, you just don't know. They're like a box of cherries. They could get shut out tonight and go ahead and score, 9 the next game. Talk about J-Ram there as well. I'm going to, again, for some reason, the chalk's been coming in, righty versus lefty, so I'll take a Soto bomb for the Yankees there.
4-1.
4-1. And lefty going for the Yankees. How about Naylor? What do you got for Naylor?
Josh Naylor, I assume, or Bo Naylor?
Josh.
Yeah, 7-1. Josh Naylor, 7-1.
And what's J-Ram, Chuck?
Where'd he go? 360 plus 360.
Yeah, so I'll go Naylor, and I'll go J Ram there. And again, I'm looking for some plus money here. Uh, uh, if you like the Guardians and you don't want to wait and hope that they win the game, you can get their team total over 3.5 at plus 120 there. So Guardians to get to 4 or better is plus 120 tonight.
I like it. I'm co-champion in the Ramirez home run with you there. I do like Soto as well. He's got some really good numbers against Cobb lifetime. Where did I have it? I'll go for a little bit of a wild card on the home run props. Gleyber Torres career against Alex Cobb, 3 for 9, 2 bombs, 10-1. Gleyber Torres out of the leadoff spot. How about that?
I like where your eyes are there. Closing thoughts. Oh, actually, hold on. I have to ask you and pick your brain. Did you see the UFC on Saturday?
On Saturday, I might have to refresh my memory. I don't know that I did. You know what? I missed this one. This is the first one that I've missed altogether for a long time. I've completely missed that one. Getting back from Vegas and then wrapped up in college football on Saturday, so I did not see that one at all.
If you pull up the card and the results, tell me just from your eyes, was there any shockers that you would see that you didn't expect, or vice versa?
Oh boy, Junior Tafa, a nice KO there. Not too surprising. Looks like we got a bunch of split decisions, 3 split decisions on this one. Junyoung Park is going to be a problem. 33 years old. I guess he's no spring chicken, but he's fighting well right now. But let's see, Royval. I guess that one is kind of surprising. Royval, that is a split decision. I mean, he was an underdog, so of course it's surprising. But Tyra, coming into that one, he was obviously undefeated, so that one's definitely shocking there. Let's see. There's a few guys that, again, some of these fight nights are some guys that are getting their first couple of chances here. Alex Morono, he was a dog, but I guess I would have expected. It was a split decision, so it looks like I guess he put up a decent fight there. But I was gonna say, other than that main event, nothing out of this world, at least for my eyes here.
And I saw the video of Mr. Pereira's sister in MMA. It just looked like him, just came in, put the girl on the floor, and next thing you know, on top of her swinging, and that was it. I don't know if you saw that video.
No, I didn't. Like I said, the UFC, if I'm out of town for a few days and then there's college football, that one was one where I might miss some news and some fights. So I guess I am out of the loop for the last week or so on UFC. So I got to get myself up to speed here.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Speaking of the UFC, nothing too crazy. Another fight night this weekend we can talk later in the week about. But other than that, the return, my friend, of Alonzo Ball is apparently sounds like you and I feel like we've been in the Twilight Zone talking about that guy for the last 2 years, and now he's finally apparently suiting up here. 2.5. Generously said he's been out for 2 years, but it has been a healthy 2.5 years. An unhealthy 2.5 years there, where because the point where he went down, the Bulls were the number 1 seed in the East in January of that season, and then he goes down for the rest of that season. So I don't know what to expect out of that. Just use this as my closing thoughts here. I don't know what to expect if he is any type of serviceable, whether it be defense or anything. I'll take it. They obviously make the trade for Josh Giddey to kind of be that facilitator. So I don't know what happens if he's coming off. I assume he'll come off the bench to get things going and get himself ramped up there. But I'm still not holding my breath until I see it for, if he plays 69, 70 games. I'll believe it and feel good about it. But I credit to him for coming back. I really did not expect to see him again in the Bulls uniform. So I think I'm excited to see how that looks, but still not quite holding my breath that that's going to last. I don't want to. I hope I'm not poo-pooing anything there, but I think you know what I mean. Where the injury seems fragile enough to where it wouldn't shock you if he called it a day after a few weeks here.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought of you immediately. Yeah, maybe it's just hopefully get your sea legs and be able to move them for someone that in a playoff hunt. Not that you guys won't be in a playoff chase or nothing like that, but listen, this guy has been hand-tied your salary for long enough here. I wish him nothing but the best, but I think for you guys to move on, you got to get under that contract there. Yankees. Dodgers put one up. Max Muncy solo homer. 6-1, bottom of the fifth there. 2 outs there. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Andrew McGinnis will be back. We'll be talking NHL there. 17 days till the start of college basketball. So who's counting? Oh, I am. That's right. As UConn goes for a three-peat there. And keep an eye on their women's team this year. I know South Carolina and a few other of those teams, but I think UConn with Paige Buchers will be a team to look out for as well. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. Everyone, go enjoy the rest of the Dodgers Mets game. I was going to say Bulls, of course. Bills and Jets at 8:20. 3 hockey games starting at 7 o'clock. And, of course, the nightcap in baseball at 7:37. Cobb versus Rodon. Have a great night. Start of a new week. Anyone, again, $199 for the rest of 2024. We'll throw in the next 6 weeks through the Super Bowl. Either send me a DM at EC Sports Invest on Twitter or send us an email at EastCoastSportsInvestors@gmail.com. Have a great night, people. We will see you soon.